Welcome to the Live Loving live stream with Jhon Davis. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Loving live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. I had a fabulous weekend this past weekend with my good friends Marcy and Georgia and Ashley and Kyle and all kinds of amazing people showed up down there. Bobo Natali and Jenny Brown. What an amazing weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing you all in person and having a wonderful time. I also wanted to actually make a public apology to my good friend Ashley. We had all planned on having dinner together on Sunday, and through a mishap of errors, we ended up not being able to dinner together, and it was probably my fault. So I wanted to say, hey, and my sister Patty has entered the building, so you guys better be good. She was there, had a really amazing amount of stuff happen, and I just thoroughly enjoyed the expo and being there with everyone. Got to meet some amazing people who had private sessions with me before, who literally came by just to say thank you because they'd had such great response and they'd taken what they had learned in those sessions and then actually put them to work. And that to me is always nice to hear. I just loved being there. It was wonderful. And, we didn't sell a lot of books, so we will be having some sort of book sale soon where Holly and I will be signing them and putting them out there. And I had a really big surprise that showed up, and hopefully Jenny Brown will show up this evening. We discovered that Jenny Brown, one of my early subscribers to my YouTube channel, she was subscriber 101 on the channel, which, by the way, we are eight subscribers away from 25,000 right now, so I'm kind of excited to see that crossover. But we found out this past weekend, after just going back and forth with Ancestry, that I'm actually related to Jenny Brown, and my sister Patty and I related to Jenny Brown. They got on their trees and they found a relative a few generations down, and that was kind of fun to find out. But yeah, it was a wonderful weekend, and I totally loved the experience. When you have an experience when you're surrounded by people who you just love and, you just enjoy being around. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard. And if you ever want to experience something, just imagine Marcy jiggling. Gave me the laugh of the weekend, some of the things she said after that experience. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's get into whatever topics. I know we're a little bit early. I wanted to start a little bit earlier, and because I was just enjoying being in the chat. But it's easier for me when there's so many of you. It's easier for me just to talk to the camera rather than to actually try to type things, because I type like my mother used to type, which is 2 fingers. So if you have anything you'd like to talk about, how was your weekend, everybody? Did everybody have a great weekend? I hope so. Let me jump over and look and see if there's anything in the chat that I've missed already. Yes, please put everything on the in all caps if you want me to answer any questions or talk about any specific topics. I am an open book, as most people know. I will talk about whatever I can and whatever jiggle giggling. Like I say, I'm an open book, and I will, if I can't answer it, I'll tell you that too. Or if I don't have an opinion on it, I'll tell you that too. But I am a completely open book for anything you guys would like to talk about. But, it's so interesting when you have a moment like this past weekend, when I'm down there, I'm with my sister, who I just adore, and I'm with my friends who I just adore, and my friend Holly's there, and there's these cute little puppies that were there. We were playing with them, and it was just a beautiful, loving experience all the way around. Oh, Ashley, if you want to talk YouTube sometime, you email me. We'll set up a Zoom, and I'll take you through everything I know. If you want to set up a Oh, but yeah, if you actually wanted to, you guys should do the jiggle giggling. That's totally great on the jiggle board. Oh my gosh. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Tritarch, how are you? I'm sorry. I did get the jump on you guys tonight. I was in the chat board talking to people, and I discovered it's just much easier for me to actually talk rather than try to type to all of you at once. Welcome back. I'm sure we'll have. So, Monica, where are you from? It's your first time in the chat, and we're really happy to have you. By the way, if anybody else is watching this and you want to put a comment in or get a question in, I don't see the video comments until after the live stream is done. You have to use the chat box for me to see it during the live stream. So if you want to ask a question or you want to have me speak on a specific topic, you have to use the chat box on the right side of your screen. You'll see everybody going up and down. Just type it into that chat box in all caps, and that's how I will come to see the question and answer it. Well, Sonny, thank you. I actually like that new painting too. The eyes, and I I showed my sister when she was here. In the other room, there are like 4 other paintings that I started, and I couldn't get the face right. I couldn't get the faces right, so I just kept starting new paintings, and when I finally got the eyes and the smile and the feeling right, then that's the one that I ended up with, and that's this painting right here, which I just love it. I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. Iron Taylor, welcome. Is that a beautiful bald head I see there? If so, I appreciate that. Mackenzie, welcome. Oh, thank you, Adrian. You make me feel better by saying things like that. That's so nice. Tea's still brewing. It's all good. Doing great. I'm absolutely doing phenomenal well, Iron Taylor. Upstate New York. So you're not actually that far away. I'm in Ohio. My cousin lives in Buffalo. So it's welcome. Let's see who. Oh, well, thank you, Iron Taylor. I've been painting since I was 12. Actually, believe it or not, when I was 11, I won 13. When I was 13, I won the William A. Horn Award for Excellence in Painting at the Rehoboth Art League, and I was very, very pleased. Embrace the bald look, because you know what, my friend? God does not cover perfect heads. And it's not a bald head, it's a solar panel for a love machine. Anyway. Well, Ashley, we didn't want you to leave either. We loved you. Angela, is it Perry? Pearl. Angela Pearl. Hello, Angela Pearl. Welcome. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. Yeah, so anyway, what do you want to talk about? Just let me know, and I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Excellent. You're in California now, Iron Taylor? Let's see what we got here. So what can we talk about? I just did a video about an hour ago on Soulmates. It's so interesting, the concept of soulmates and finding soulmates. I think if you truly want to find your soulmate, you have to show your soul, because your soulmate only finds you when they see you, and you have to be you authentically and cleanly. And if you are wearing a mask of need, like you need to find someone, they're not going to see you. They're going to see your need, and it's going to be hard for them to love you unconditionally, because all they're seeing is your need. They're not really seeing you. So the real key to find someone who will be a loving soulmate for you is to literally show yourself to the world, so that the people who will love you unconditionally will find you and see you and love you. But as long as we're in this place of needing, wanting, hoping, wishing, trying, can't, we're going to be in a space of not expressing who we truly are authentically. If you love to paint like our good friend in California does here, hang on, let me double check that name so I have it, Iron Taylor, then go out and paint and put yourself into the world being seen painting. If you like to just be in nature, join a hiking club, go out and be because you love hiking. Not because you're looking for somebody, but because you're just being you to your 100%. This past weekend, I got to see who Marcy really was, and I love her even more. So it's just that one of those things where the more authentic you are, the more you're seen and the more you're loved. And what's one of the and people always say, and I said this in the video that's coming out in a few days. I said people always say, "But Jhon, you were divorced 3 times." Well, that's because when I got into my marriages, I stopped being me. I stopped being my authentic self to please and to meet expectations that were not who I was. And so there's no way the relationships could have lasted, because they were no longer married to the person that they fell in love with, because I was not being me anymore. So if you truly want to be in a beautiful, loving partnership with a soulmate, you've got to remember that you've got to remain yourself. You've got to be unconditional in your love for them. And on top of it, you have to, as Friedrich Nietzsche would say, you have to foster the friendship first. Because the friendship is what's important. Love is an amazing feeling, and it's beautiful, but you have to like the person and enjoy being around the person for it to be truly unconditional. And that's my thought on that. Now, what do you guys want to talk about? What is it? Try to do miniatures. I have a lot of friends who do miniatures. In fact, I actually know a group of jousters who are into the little miniature. The game that Henry Cavill always plays. He paints all the miniatures. They paint all the miniatures and everything. Anyway, Warhammer. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, that's totally fun. Mackenzie, what was the name of the sword fighting act you saw at Michigan Ren Fair? Maybe I know them. Beyonce shared a second great grandmother on my family tree. Wow, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. Suzanne, I'm glad. Well, congratulations to you. That's an amazing feat to stay in a marriage for so long and still in love. That's beautiful. Mackenzie, I do not know who Rogue Blades are. Unfortunately, they must be one of those younger sword fighter groups. It's interesting because the concept of going back to that other conversation, the concept of being who you are and being truly authentic to yourself. In my 3 marriages, my first 2 marriages, they wanted me to be something other than I was. And at both of those marriages, I was into Renaissance festivals. My 3rd marriage, she was into Renaissance festivals and I wasn't. And so there was timings and things that weren't working so well. But it really, you have to remember that to truly be unconditional in love, you've got to love them no matter what they're going through and who they are in that moment. And hopefully you're growing together and you're moving. But once again, remember also that marriage itself is a religious construct. But truly unconditional love doesn't need marriage. It can be literally just I'm choosing to love, like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. 50 years, never married, but they talk about each other like they're newly dating. It's actually such a beautiful relationship. We get into that jiggle board conversation. We're gonna make Marcy blush. For those of you guys who don't know, there was this device at the expo that people were climbing up on top of. That and it was very much supposed to awaken parts of your body and stuff like that. And where we were, you could hear the people giggling around the corner. And let's just say Marcy had an experience. Was there a specific moment? What's interesting about this question, Marcy, and I'm so glad you asked it, because there wasn't a specific moment, because the majority of my regression memories are laughter, and specifically laughing with both of them. My only thing that I really wanted to capture in that painting was their love for each other. That's why I put her leaning on his chest, and why I had his head rested on hers, because they were always on top of each other. They were always fawning on one another, and they were always laughing. And I just thoroughly wanted to hit the feeling of their laughter and their joy and who they really were, because that other painting that is back there, that one, people always tell me it's so somber, and I definitely wanted to show the personality. I had a person who saw that painting at an expo 20 years ago, and said whoever painted that saw him on the cross. And they said, how do you know? Because it's in his eyes. And so so I wanted to do something that showed the joy, the laughter, the love. So when I painted it, I was literally doing lots of sketches, lots of paintings, trying to figure out the look. And I finally came across this with them just pressed against each other, loving each other in that way, which I just loved. Let's see what we got. Georgia, I love this statement. I absolutely love this statement. I unconditionally love my best friend, Tim. I've known him since I was 5. Neither one of us can remember ever meeting. We've just always known each other. And what happened was, over the course of time, we've known each other since we're 5. We're both 60. We've never had a single fight in our entire life. We have one rule, we never have to say we're sorry to each other. And it just kind of comes out. One day I was sitting there, and Tim actually said, Jhon, I'm sorry, I should have been there. I said, Tim, you never have to say you're sorry to me. I don't take anything you do as wrong, or trying to do a slight me in any way, shape, or form. And we have, when I went through all my first awareness of my past life, Tim just took it as truth, because he knew I would never lie to him about it. He knew that I wouldn't go to that, make that up for him. He knew me. And so I completely agree with what you're saying there, Georgia, entirely, actually. Sonny, what's my thought on The Chosen? I think that The Chosen's an interesting TV show. And I've talked about this before, but it's, first of all, you have to remember that The Chosen is produced by the Mormons, by Mormons in general. The producers are Mormon. Now, if you don't know a lot about Mormonism, Mormonism is a very unique religion, because they believe they're following the Christianity of Jesus, not the Christianity of the Catholic Church. But they have this weird sort of contradiction, because their main guy, Campbell, he says the Garden of Eden is in Missouri, and he's put all these biblical sites in the United States, and it really makes no sense at all. So it's really kind of hard to justify what they're saying, but they are coming from a very messianic point of view, making that film, that TV show, this man was the Messiah. And I have a hard time with that aspect of it because that's completely antithetical to what I remember him teaching. He never believed he was the Messiah, nor did he believe in messiahs. He believed we're all one with God, which is why he says in the Bible anyway, the Father and I are one, and you must become one with me as I am with the Father. Saying that we're all one in God. He said, ye are gods. He says, greater works than I've done you will do, as your faith did. He washed his disciples' feet to show that he was no better than they. That show leans too heavily into the messianic, supernatural sort of thing. He was a man. He was a man who found his direct connection to Source and God, and was showing us what he found and showing us what we could do. So to me, when I watch the show, I couldn't continue watching it because it was too messianic. But I will say, the scene where he meets Jhon and James, the actual scene where it was shot was very close to my memory, which was 20 years ago. My memory, the scene with the rocky shore, the boat on the shore, that was very much the setting, and it looked like that. So that to me was very interesting to watch that. It didn't play out the way the show played it out, but in my memory. But that was very interesting to me. Hi, Richard. How are you? Oh, thank you, Chitra. I will write this down. Bhagavad Gita commentary by Swami Mukundananda. Mukundananda. It's a Mukundananda. What a cool name. Chitra, I have to thank you too, because I stayed at the hotel this past weekend at the expo, and because of the way how you taught me to say your name, I was able to say the person's name behind the counter, and then I was also able to talk about someone who I did a reading with, Pragarshi, and I had a wonderful conversation with this beautiful Indian woman behind the counter, whose name was Jo. But we had just a lovely conversation, and I attribute a lot of my my being able to pronounce things to you. So thank you, Chitra. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. What are you saying is a cult? Are you saying Mormonism is a cult? I'm not sure what you're saying is a cult. And let me just also say, in that regard, if you search cult and you search religion in the dictionary, they're the same thing. So I go read those two definitions in the dictionary. It'll shock you what you find. Oh, Bright Love, thank you so much. That was my goal, is to see the fun and joy. I am a very much an anomaly in the world. My favorite authors in fiction and nonfiction come more in plays and older stuff. I am a huge Mark Twain fan. I'm a huge Shakespeare fan. Lately, I haven't been able to get too deeply into a lot of reading because of the fact that I'm working so much. And pardon me, I'm about to sneeze. Thank you. When I look at reading, when I was traveling with the USO, I was reading The Kite Runner, which was a very timely book for me to read because I was flying into Afghanistan, and one of the flights we were flying in, the pilots had to avoid hitting kites, and it was like this book I'm reading was right in alignment with what I was literally living at the moment. So that was cool. I also read the Da Vinci Code on a USO tour, and I like Dan Brown's stuff. I think you have to totally think of it as fiction, but because the history he presents as real is not, especially Da Vinci Code, because it's based on a very well known fraud. So that to me is that's interesting. Iron Taylor, my favorite Renaissance painter is actually Raphael. I actually love his work, and specifically his work with light. Later Renaissance, I would have to go into Rembrandt, but that's not really technically Renaissance. That's a little bit later. But I like the plays of light, using dark and light. That's why even if you look at my backdrop right now, the plays of light in my lighting scheme here, with me brighter in the darkness, and you'll even look at my face. One side of my face is darker, one side of my face is lighter. I play with that light because I just like the idea, and I like that look. So yeah, those are a couple of my favorite painters. I I, I will definitely look him up. Thank you very much, Mukundananda. Great. Ah, this is lovely. Thank you so much, MP, and thank you for being here. I'm glad you like the channel. I love putting the videos out. I love the channel as well. So, you are in charge of your destiny. You mentioned that in your vids. Yes. How do you put that into practice without doubt? That is an interesting thing. Doubt. What is doubt? Doubt is the fear of failing. It's just simply fear. I doubt that it's happening. I doubt that I can. It's literally self doubt. It's self worth, and all of those things are the fear of not being loved in some form. And when you look at it from the element, the only way you can break this cycle is to get very present and release the fear. Now, how do we do it? Everyone's saying unison, exhale, right? Right. When you exhale, you're releasing fear, you're releasing anxiety, and doubt comes from fear. Right. Just be very present, and anytime you feel yourself doubting, just exhale. Just exhale. Come back to that sweet space at the bottom of your breath. When you come to that, feel that sweet space, because that sweet space at the bottom of your breath is your direct connection with God. And when you're in that space, you are in the creative space of being the creator. You are there in the moment, being one with God. And that is the moment you make a choice. I am doing this. And then you choose your destiny. And the Bhagavad Gita says, thought by thought, you forge your destiny. Thought by thought, you forge your destiny. And when you come from that space of realizing that I am choosing my thoughts, thoughts are choices. I get to choose what I am creating. And when you come back to that space and you just exhale, what am I creating? I'm creating more of this feeling, more of this love, more of this expression. And the way you break the self-doubt is literally to release the fear. And the quickest way to release the fear is to just simply exhale. And a more fun way to do it is to find something to laugh at, because a laugh is a completely present and fearless moment, and it is a direct connection to God and how you feel. So I hope that answers your question, and thank you for asking it. Thank you. Bless you. Said bless you, Adrian. Thank you. You would love this, Tractor. If you really want to dive into something interesting, you need to dive into noetic science. Noetic. Noetic science is fascinating because it started with an Apollo astronaut who was coming back into Earth's atmosphere, who had a transcendental experience, and he created noetic science to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. And so he was playing with a lot of other things. Do I think physics and spiritualism is compatible? I absolutely do. But here's the interesting thing. All empirical evidence that's found in science is found in the illusion of belief. So let me explain what I'm talking about. So if I have a theory about something, and I go looking to prove my theory, the theory is my belief. I will see evidence of the theory being proven. When theories change, right now NASA is literally working on an engine that might reach close to light speed. And they're talking about this is, physics changing science. And they're like, this doesn't work, And, but what they're finding is the more they think about this thing, they're creating new possibility. When you think about the Big Bang Theory in general, you're talking about this expansion of the universe, right? Well, everywhere in the universe, everything is expanding away from them. Everywhere. There's not one point where it started. Everything is just growing. And the distances between things are getting bigger. So, though we may be expanding here, out here on this perimeter, everything is just getting further and further apart. And so I had a guy tell me arguing with me one time actually about the Big Bang Theory. And I said, well, the reason they call it a theory because it's a theory. I said, what if the universe is expanding like that simply because we're thinking bigger thoughts? Our thoughts are creating a bigger atmosphere, a bigger experience. All empirical evidence is found in the illusion of belief. Einstein said that when he dug down to the bottom of all of the atoms and the smallest particles, he said it was too organized for there not to be a greater consciousness involved. So do I think it's compatible? I think that science will very quickly prove the theories of spirituality. What you think you become, you create. Your world is Buddha, right? Noetic science has been able to measure thought waves, and they stop at the point in the space where someone focuses their thought. And they think something's happening at that point, which means they're starting to prove that thoughts are creative. And so I think we're at the crux. I think we're at the crux of something new, right? When you look at the wall beside you, the wall is made of atoms, and that we know because of Einstein that the atoms are just an energy event. And the air between you and that wall is atoms, and your eyes are atoms. All we are is an energy event, and our consciousness within that event. But what is this we're looking at? What is this experience we're seeing? We're seeing the illusion of our belief. And in that illusion of our belief, we are creating. That's why negative people say a negative world, because they believe it's a negative world, so their illusion shows them a negative world. That's why I see a positive one, because I believe the world is positive, and I live into that positive feeling. I laugh at almost everything, because I find the world joyful. And I think that what science itself is going to prove, and is proving, as Chitra says right here, Einstein declared all matter is energy, right? Tesla said that to understand the universe, you have to understand energy, frequency, and vibration. All of that in this experience, scientific experience, we can say, yes, an atom is all those things. In the spiritual world, we would say all of those things are feelings. And so it comes back to the feelings. The vibration is a feeling. The resonance is a feeling, right? And the frequency of somebody. We know when somebody is a metalhead, and we know when somebody is a dork, or somebody is a, whatever they want to call it. We feel who they are. We resonate. We understand, right? There's an energy flow, and we come into this place, and we just have an understanding based upon the energy people are putting out. And to me, when I look at this this world of physics and spirituality, I think it's getting closer and closer and closer, and very soon it's going to be very well proven. That's my opinion on this. I hear a bunch of people putting a bunch of stuff up. D Craziness, hello D Craziness, how are you? I think I read. Did I read you just recently? Because that name sounds very familiar. Prina, how are you? Yeah, Shakespeare and Mark Twain, my jam. Are you guys hearing a low hum? Let me see if I can fix that. Hold on. How's that sound? Let me know if that hum has gone away. Jump over here. Okay. Yeah, I like, in talking about paintings again, I love dark backgrounds. In fact, I used to start a lot of my paintings with black backgrounds and just reveal things. Actually, there's a painting I want to show you guys that started that way. Let me get over here, see if I can find the picture of it for you. This is a painting I did a long, long time ago. And it's one of my favorites. It's currently in my dining room. I simply love this painting. Let me find the picture of it for you. I should totally make files of just my paintings so I can find them quickly in these situations. So, um, talk among yourself. um, Let me find it. Um, oh, do, 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 do. I know it's here. Oh, I'm having a hard time finding it. Oh, let me go down here further. That's that painting. Huh. Oh. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so this painting here started with a completely black background. But if you look up close, it really is just a series of thin lines showing the details. It's one of my favorite paintings I've ever done. But yeah, I loved working with the dark background. Let me jump over here. Oh yeah, gosh, I love this question. This is a great question. Here is what I'm going to say to you. Know that you're bringing them something good. Be excited about the fact that you're bringing something that they're really going to enjoy and understand and take into their experience. Start with loving them first. Don't walk on stage afraid of failing or afraid of looking bad. Go on stage knowing full well, 100%, you are bringing something good to the room and you love them first. Have no fear. Walk on stage and say, I'm so excited to bring you guys this information. If you do that, they will love you immediately. You will automatically have created the energy, the vibration, as we just talked about, and they will walk on stage and they will simply love you. That's the first thing. Also, if you can make them laugh at something, then you've just won the game, because that is in the professional speaking world. If you don't have humor, then you're really kind of missing a little bit of thing. You're really kind of missing the audience. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that science and spirituality are bridging the gap right now. I think that is one of the most beautiful things that could happen to our world, because I think that a lot of atheists think they're leaning into science when in reality they don't understand it's all the same. Um, uh, oh, look at Marcy. That's great. Pierre Teilhard Desjardins. What a great name. Um, and yes, as Bright Love says, subscribe to my channel, and Spirit made me do it. And Holly, I don't think Holly Matson has a channel, a YouTube channel. She has a website though. If you're interested in animal Reiki healing, then go to lightseedsbyholly.com and you'll find. How do we weave the book's secret into God? It just talks about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is the modern marketing of creation. And the Bible literally says, when you pray, believe you shall receive and you shall. It's the same stuff. They're just giving it terminology and methodology, and they're marketing the creation. But your thoughts are creating it every moment of every day. And when what they're telling you to do is get very conscious about what you're creating. And so you can do that. You can do that with any aspect. You can create what you believe you will receive, and understand the law of attraction. Even the word manifestation. I'm not really into the word manifestation as much because it's been so overused. I just think it's creation, and we all are creators in our own right. I hope that answers your question there, Dee. Are the paintings you did oil painting? The latest painting, this one is oil painting. The original one that I did, which is there, that's acrylic, and the lion painting is acrylic. Over the past couple of years, I started getting into oil painting, and it's been a very new experience for me because I had to learn patience because I was a very, very, very fast painter. I could crank out a painting really fast, but I had to relearn to paint with patience, and that was a very hard thing for me to do. But I was so glad I did it because my paintings seem to have more life to them because I've spent the time. I hope that answers your question. Holly is the sweetest person too, by the way. You're right. I think that totally makes sense, Noah. I think it's all part of the same thing, and it's all part of, in my opinion, it's all part of the illusion of this that's being played out in this energy around us. I subscribe. I think that you can help. A lot of times, schizophrenia is hearing beyond the veil, and they have this experience of hearing and seeing things that are beyond the veil. So a lot of times, that are diagnosed with something like this are just literally sitting between two worlds, and understand you you can't. The greatest thing you can do is empower yourself. Make yourself be very well empowered and love them without any condition whatsoever. But don't focus on the issue as much as focus on joyfully him moving into a life where he can, live into a joyful world abundantly, and have all he needs for the rest of his days. If you stay focused on the negative, the problems and the diagnoses and all of the issues, you're actually repeating that same idea. That's why Mother Teresa, when asked to go to the anti-war rally, she said, "No, have a pro-peace rally and I'll come." I would say the doctor says you've been diagnosed with schizophrenia. I would say, okay, I am joyfully receiving perfect health and perfect clarity, and I am moving forward in my life in a joyful and abundant way. I would start helping your son realize that he can grab a hold of his beliefs and hold his mind. Most of the time, somebody with this sort of condition are highly empathic people, and they're hearing the other people's thoughts, other people's ideas, and if you can give him just simply the tool of saying, "That's theirs, not mine." Let him be able to delineate in his own mind the separation from what's his thoughts and what's not his thoughts, and you can do this just by empowering him that way. You don't need a middleman to do this. You can do this. Be the example of pure love, and give him the tool of saying, that is theirs, not yours, and bring him back to the space of we're going to create something beautiful, and we're creating a beautiful, healthy life, an abundant life. What does he love to do? What does he love to do? What does he like to paint? Does he like to draw? Lean into the things that he loves to do, because the more you keep him in that place doing what he's loving to do, he's not thinking about the other things. He's not feeling the other things. He's being that joyful, loving things that he's loving to do. He'll have less of those experiences, and the less of those experiences he has, the more he'll be creating the habit of not having them. I hope that makes sense. Moving on. Let me go ahead and knock that one down. Okay. Tesla talked about 369 as well. Good evening, Mr. Davis. Just joined the stream. Any opinion on scalar energy? I have no idea what that is. So I really don't have any concept. So I'm not sure. Big boom theory. I think that whatever you put faith in, you'll create. But I personally think it's all one, and my personal belief is it's all one. And people will use things for healing, as Georgia says here, because people are saying this is used for healing, and they're putting faith in the fact that it's healing. But it always comes down to the idea that it's the faith that heals, not anything within the physical world we need. That's my opinion on it anyway. Moving down. We talked about a lot of things that other people, but we had to. Oh well, thank you. I'm glad you had a good thing. Columbus was amazing, and a lot of these people in here tonight were there, and we had just a wonderful time. I got to meet Marcy in person, and Bright Love in person, and Georgia in person, and Bob, who's not here tonight, in person, and Jenny Brown in person. It was a lovely, lovely weekend. Oh, awesome! That's awesome. So your paintings are being unveiled. Beautiful, beautiful. So go up there and just talk about what you love, and you're unveiling something. So go in there, know excitingly that you're showing them something beautiful and amazing. That's great. Oh, I disagree with you. I think you have a big heart. I think that you're just trying to find it more than anything else. Uh, oh, thank you, Adrienne. Everyone's doing well. So I'm trying to get down. If you go under any video on my channel and just go to the store where it says prints, it's in the store already. I went ahead and put it up just the other day. I also, if you go to my channel, there's a video that came out the other day where I announced it, and the link is like on the top of that description. And also, I just put it up in the community page too. So just go find that link. In fact, give me a second, and I'll find that link for you. Hold on. That's actually much easier for me to do here than make you do that, because I can just go down here. Oh, guys, we're at 5 people away from 25,000 subscribers. So we might actually hit 25,000 subscribers during this live stream. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. Go to the community page. Click on that link right there. Save the link. Okay, see. Okay, come over here. I am adding a comment into the link, into the chat, and that is where you get the Jenny Rishu. Happy birthday. Oh, Prina, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The people don't realize super stickers, the donations, the private sessions, they are the only income that I have. Even the book we signed this weekend, all that money goes to Holly. So I only make my living off of donations, product sales, and private sessions. And so every dollar is completely appreciated. It allows me to actually have a home and not be homeless. And yet today is Friday the 13th. For those of you who don't know where Friday the 13th comes from, it was the country of France owed the Templar Knights a whole bunch of money, and they decided that rather than pay the money back, they would just kill off all the Templars, and they did it on Friday the 13th. And so it became this date, Friday the 13th, and it's come down through history as a bad luck day. It was a bad luck day for the Templars, to say the least. This is actually a great question. I love this great question. He would give critical feedback in the way that he had couple different ways he'd do it. I used to have a sword fighting teacher we used to joke he could never say anything negative. And the joke was always like, we're learning stage combat, and two guys are fighting with broadswords, and one guy cuts the other guy's arm off, and our teacher would say, well, that's one way to do it, but why don't we try it this way? And yes, he was Irish. It was always done out of love, but there were the times where he would just give a look. You would say something, and he would go, and just give you a look, and you would go, and you would have sudden awareness of what you just said and what you were creating, and so it becomes very. It became very funny because he would look at you and you'd start to laugh. You're like, yeah, what did I just do? But it was he wasn't harsh to people unless they were doing harmful things to people. Trying to go back up here. Is it Eunice or Younes? I know a man whose last name is spelled that way, Younes, and his name was E.J. Younes was his name. So is it Eunice or Younes? I love the name. Beautiful. So let me keep going down. What's up, spiritual gangsters? I love this question. I hope my question won't insult, because I swear I mean that with all due respect. Here's my question: if you ask God to grow your hair back, why do you think it would happen? Well, first of all, I don't ask God for anything. I declare my life. God is the means by which things happen, not somebody I ask favors of. If I wanted to grow hair back, I would go with, thank you for the hair, the perfect head of hair I'm growing. But I have to tell you, as far as being a bald man, I absolutely love it. And when I was in art school, they made us do a drawing of ourselves at that time and as old people, and it was me looking at myself, and my old self was a completely bald head, and so I have no issue with a bald head. So I don't ask God to grow my hair back, because I don't see it as anything wrong, right? And I wasn't in any way, shape, or form insulted by that question. I think it's a funny question, and thank you for asking it. Let me jump up here. Okay, so jumping down, going down further. I caught up there. I'm going down. Um, um, yeah, well, actually, I want to double check to see if we've made it to 25,000. Let's see. Have we done it yet? Nope, we're still at 5. So we're close enough that I'm pretty happy about it. Kathy, oh Kathy, hey Kathy, it was wonderful to meet you as well. Ah, wonderful. I'm jumping. I think that we're headed to that. I think we're headed to, like, I remember when in Star Trek they talk about there is no poverty, there is no hunger, there is no. I think we're headed to that, and I really do. I think people are becoming more loving, more caring. I think the reason why a lot of people are feeling like they need to purge their life right now is because it's more about putting those things out into the world for the people who need them. I think we're naturally coming to a place of oneness with our entire community, and I think it's the natural evolution, and I've seen it happening for 20 years. When I left this work a long time ago and came back to it, I can see everyone's shifting, and it's dramatic and it's beautiful, and I absolutely love it. So I hope that gives you hope for your future. Hey, J.C. Kearns from Iowa, how are you? Yeah, there's a link in the chat right now on how to get a copy of that that painting. Embrace the baldness. Oh, there you go, the Bald Brigade. As I said earlier to somebody at the very beginning of this live stream, it's not a bald head, it's a solar panel for a love machine. And listen to Chitra, people. Click the thumbs up. Make sure that you like it, because that does help the algorithm, and we can get 5 more subscribers. The more you click, the more people will jump over here to find out what the hell we're doing. I would never wear a toupee. I would never wear. And it's so good to see you too, Kathy. Thank you for coming. Great. This is a good question. Hi, Alex. I hope you're doing well. Is the devil real? There is no devil. No, there is not. And the devil and Lucifer, Satan and Lucifer, two different things. Historically, the word Satan means accuser, and in some variations, it means temptation. But it was not a individual. It was a one person named Satan. It was, you are being an accuser. You are being someone who is tempting me. But it was never, ever that sort of thing until much later, much later. Actually, the majority of our belief in the devil and our imagery about the devil comes from Dante's Inferno in the 1300s. Back in the early days, there was no devil. And Lucifer was the story of an angel who fell. It wasn't an evil polar opposite of God. It was an angel who fell. And that angel who fell, it wasn't about him becoming the antithesis to God. It was about his fall, about him falling and him coming through that process. But it's all Judaic mythology. So when you look at that, and you look at hell comes from the word Hades or Gehenna, and Gehenna is a valley near Jerusalem where a Judaic warlord killed a bunch of children, and then later on it became a trash dump. And so you would go burn in Gehenna where all the children died. And so the idea of hell is in the ancient Hebrew Bible, which became the Old Testament. There was no hell. It was Sheol. It was the place where dead people go, but there wasn't a place of punishment. And all of those punishments come from the ideology of Dante's Inferno much, much later. I hope that answers your question, Alex. And and it'll turn out well as long as you believe it. Your world is a product of your present moment belief, what you believe about the now. I am receiving abundant income. And the more you believe that to be true, the faster it'll happen. Hello, Doyle. Oh, and hi, and thanks to you for being here. Jump down. Oh, Ginger Beef, thank you for the super chat. That is very, like I said earlier, very, very helpful. Beautiful, beautiful comment. I I don't believe in evil. Period. I believe in love and fear. I believe people get lost in pathways, but I don't think tarot is evil. I know a lot of great tarot readers who will tell you they're just using the tarot as a tool to guide their own belief system, but I don't believe in anything evil at all. I believe in love and fear, and that's my belief on it. I hope that answers your question. Hello, Siddharth, my friend. Hello to you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Pleasure to see you. That is a mischief maker. See this? Even the Hindu language has the word, and it's not a individual person, right? Um, uh, I'm not sure you're gonna like what I'm about to say. All of the stuff about like what's his name, J. Spira, whatever his name, the guy who was on Alex Ferrari's thing lately. Um, all of that stuff that he's talking about, there's no evidence of that. It's all it's all modern New Age ideologies that are trying to marry modern sensibility into ancient things. If you read the Gnostic Gospel of Mary Magdalene, she tries to tell the men this vision she had, and the men are all like, "You're a woman. Why should we listen to you?" And it was Levi who said, Peter, you're just a grumpy old guy. He loved her more than us, so obviously he would come to her and share something with her. It, People look for conspiracy based upon modern sensibilities. This was 2,000 years ago in a place that's very much like Afghanistan is now with the Taliban. Women are very suppressed anyway in that society, and that's the way it was back then. But this idea that he actually said uh, that Jeshua and Miriam were split souls and they were equal and had the same special powers. Jeshua was a man who found his divinity. He wasn't the Son of God come to earth. He was a man who found his oneness with God and was sharing it. And I'm sure he shared it with his wife. I'm sure he shared it with his wife. And I'm sure his wife shared it with others. But it was not a time where she was going to be a forefront preacher or person, because it just would never have happened. It couldn't have happened. She probably would have been killed faster than he was if that was the case. And my memory of her after the crucifixion was a woman who was completely devastated, thinking her husband was dead. And what was so interesting was her family, in my regressive memories, her family came and got her and took her back to Magdala, and she was not there when Jeshua showed up on the shoreline in my regression. I remember seeing him after the crucifixion, but she was not with him. Now, there's a lot of people in India who believe he came back to India with her and raised children there and died there. But and I hope it's true because, but I can't say that that's true because I don't have those regressive memories. But the regressive memories I have are not this idea that she was some special super being who was suppressed. She was an amazingly wonderful woman, and she was beautiful and loving and caring, and she had a lovely smile, and she just was just a beautiful, beautiful person. And I just loved her as I loved him. And I have a very distinct memory about she and I clearing a table together laughing. But it wasn't that she was some super teacher or she was some super spiritual being at all. She was just like he was. She was a woman of the time as he was a man of the time. And that's my thought on this. I hope that doesn't offend. But that is what my memories truly are. And I would be a hypocrite not to say what I remember. This would be good and shut that down. Okay, we're going to wind up here in just a few minutes, guys. So I'm trying to jump down and see. When I see stuff like this, I say people should stop. And I just did a video called "Has YouTube Become the New Religion?" People should stop putting so much stock in what they're seeing online, even if they don't believe what I say. That's totally fine. It's all from within you, right? I can go on Google right now and type in Jesus was a racist, and I can find websites that tell you that Jesus is a racist. Ask me how I know this, because I did it. Somebody was trying to badmouth Gandhi to me, and I told him, I said, yeah, I'll bet you could find websites that said Jesus is a racist. And I went on and I found them. The internet is just a construct of stream of consciousness, and people who think things are just going to put it out there, and you can find proof of anything that you're looking for on the internet. It's a matter of keeping your focus on loving and caring, and staying in that space of being the love that is God. I hope that makes sense. Shane, welcome. Thank you. I will keep up the work, my friend. Did I not answer your super chat, Ginger Beef? Jen, I actually answered the chosen question earlier in this chat. And daily consideration. There's a video on my channel. If you search the word virgin on my channel, you will find the whole thing about virgin birth. And of course, Jhon was not at the birth or the conception, right? And so I would not have any direct memory of that. But that video on my channel, just search the word virgins using the search function. You'll find it. And it literally is talks about the history of why there's so many virgin births. Plato was a virgin birth. Horus in Egypt was a virgin birth. That's because that is their way of making them special. It's not actually a thing that was historical. Let me jump down to the bottom here. What was the super chat question? Let me jump back. I have to go. Sorry, I've got to jump back. I've had a real experience of perceiving myself as a pure love, unity consciousness within everything I am being. I had found pluses in reality. I don't know where to go from here. Well, okay. That's not really a question. Are you asking where to go from here? Only you can choose your purpose. Only you can choose what you're doing. What I would say is, where do you go from here? You go to the present. You get present and you step into your divinity and you create your experience. you've had a real experience of perceiving myself as pure love, unity, consciousness with everything in being, and I found plasticity in reality, I don't know where to go from here. You need to step into the role of creator, step into your divinity and say, I am joyfully creating a life, and start creating in the now. Now is the only moment you will ever live. You can't go to the store next Thursday right now, and you can't go to the store last Thursday right now. You can only go to the present because it's the only place you are. You are here in the now. So what you do is step into the role of being the creator in the now. That is where you quote unquote go. From here, you just strip away everything you know and come back to your awareness that you're creating with your thought. And all of the pathways, all of the ideologies, all of the religions, all the dogmas, all the doctrines, you strip it away, and the universe is revealed to you. And that is really the key to this thing, is to get out of your head and really into the feelings of the now, and that's how you find it. I hope that answers your question. Let me jump down. Jump down. Trying to get to the... Okay, guys, I'm about to sign out because if I don't, Chitra will beat me up. Yeah, Baha'i is beautiful. The Baha'i religion is beautiful. Good. Hello, Nancy from Florida. I'm sorry, we're about to sign out. Jumping down. You asked a real quick question. Any favorite spiritual texts? I suggest comedies because you're never closer to God than when you're laughing. All the rest of them are constructs of man that are mixed up and manipulated for thousands of years. They really all ought to be left behind. Just laugh. Just come back to a place of laughter. Be present and fearless, which is what a true laugh is, and you're going to find God. I'm going to miss a lot of your questions, guys. I'm sorry to say. So I'm jumping down. Okay, all right. I got to get out of here because Chitra's going to kick my butt. Guys, it's been absolutely joy talking to you this evening. I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope I didn't offend anybody with some of my opinions. I love you all, and I always appreciate you being here. And I appreciate the love you show for each other in the chats. And I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Have a great weekend. Bye. Thank you for joining us at the Live Loving live stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and visit us at jhonofnew.com.